Did you really?
I did.
Hey, everybody. This is Gary. And you should mute. There we go. That's better. Should we start over?
Hey, everybody. This is Gary and Chris.
You're Chris and I'm Gary.
And we're here with the Paperless Agent. We're going to start in 4 minutes, but we thought we would activate, get this guy fired up.
Is that a power word?
It is. Well, I mean, it's one of my power words. Activate. But let us know if you can see us and let us know if you can hear us just by going over to the chat feature and just say loud and clear, maybe.
Or tell us where you're calling in from.
Tell us where you're logging in from. That's also pretty cool. Another thing you might want to do while you're exploring the use of that chat feature is tell us what you'd like to get away from or get out of today's time
or
with
take
us.
away from.
What you'd like to take away. I'm excited about this topic because I know one of the bigger challenges that we face in real estate, and I know it's one that we also have to address in our own real estate firm, is finding a consistent source and stream of clients, keeping our pipeline filled.
Well, it is. And quite often, Chris, it comes down to two things. Number one is, to be quite honest, I'm kind of lazy. But then number two is it also comes down to the fact that historically, we don't know what we're supposed to be doing every single month to consistently generate that business. And so that's exactly what we're here to talk about today.
One of the things that I've been learning about this is that it takes a little bit longer than I want it to take. You know what I mean? So like I always have this expectation that the sale should take place immediately or I should generate the lead immediately. But one of the things that I think, because, I don't know, you would know this, is it because real estate's sort of cyclical as buyers are coming into the market and leaving the market? Or like, why is it that it typically takes a little bit longer than sort of this instant gratification of being able to find a client? Because there's work involved.
There's work involved, but it comes down to several things. Number one is the timeline of when you're catching people and then how long it takes for them to transact. But also the consistency. You have to stay consistent in your marketing and in your lead generation, otherwise you'd go through those cycles. And that's where the cyclical danger comes from. But we've got to make sure that we stay out of that cycle and just stay consistent.
Well, I think the easy way to do that, and I think that's what we're going to be talking about today, but the easy way to do that is twofold. One is have a good marketing calendar and know what you're going to be doing, right? Yep. So that sort of eases the consistency. And then use the appropriate tools and technologies to make life just a little bit easier.
Oh, the technologies and different apps that make life so much easier and allow us to transact with so many more people and stay in touch with so many more people. And so with that, I think we should get started here.
Okay, we could get started, Gary.
I know we're about a minute early, but I'd love to take just a few seconds and share with everybody what we're going to be doing today.
All right, what are we doing today, Gary?
Well, we're going to dance. No, that's not. What we're going to do is we're going to be training. This is intense training. So what I need you to do is prepare for this. So get ready because, your Wi-Fi is on. Is that going to be we should probably leave it.
I would leave it.
And so I want you to get ready to take a lot of notes, take screenshots if you need to, whatever you need to do. In addition to that, we're going to do that for 1 hour. We're going to train for 1 hour. At the end of that time frame, we're going to talk about additional tools and resources that you can use to stay consistent in your business and with your lead generation. Then at the end of that, we're going to go through Q&A. And I would imagine with the number of people we have registered for this webinar, Q&A may take about 45 minutes.
Goodness gracious.
I know.
Oh my, we're going to be here for a while.
But you got to get us questions to answer. So as we go through this 1 hour masterclass and training, what I'd love for you to do is go to the chat section and ask your questions as they pop into your mind. That way, our team will flag them as questions, and then we'll answer them when we get to Q&A.
Cool.
And with that,
you wanna get started?
Let's do this.
I'm going to share my screen, guys, because a lot of what we're going to share with you guys today are real examples of marketing things that we've done, and we've scheduled it out for you for over the course of 12 months, but things that we've done in our own real estate practice, both in the last year, what we have scheduled for next year, and even some stuff that I grabbed screenshots of that we have running right now. Like this morning, I grabbed a few screenshots of stuff that we have right now. So let me go ahead and pull my screen up so that you guys can see this. And there we are.
There we go.
So I wanted to point out our four favorite apps and technologies that are incorporated throughout this 12-month marketing calendar. Now, guys, you're going to have to really get ready. We're going to have to move really fast in order for us to be able to cover all 12 months in the next 60 minutes. But I want you to take note of, and Gary and I are going to point out where we're using these technologies in each month, right? So we've got Facebook, and we're using many features of Facebook. So we'll show you how we're doing that. We're doing a lot of Instagram. Now, there's two technologies that I want to address. The first one is we do a lot of online video.
We do a lot of online video because it's what we're comfortable doing. We're used to it, and it's easy, and it's effective.
It's super effective. I mean, you give, for example, using live videos is something that Mark Zuckerberg, head of Facebook, has said this is going to show up higher in the newsfeed. This is going to get more recognition because of the quality of its content. There's another technology that we're using, and I don't want you guys to discount this technology. It's email. A lot of people might say, oh, email is dead, or email doesn't work. I'm going to show you. In fact, today I'm going to show you a specific email that we sent a couple of months ago that made some $80,000 in commissions. And it was a freaking email.
One email.
Right? So I don't want you to discount email, because if you look at all of the things that we do, the biggest bang for the buck, or the biggest return on investment, is coming through our email marketing efforts. Another reason why email is something that you don't want to give up on is, what do you do whenever the current social media fad switches? Like to all you guys who are using MySpace, I bet you're bummed out now that no one's really using MySpace, or everyone who is using Vine videos, that's gone now. So we have to be prepared for the shift and changes within the trends of the social media technologies that people are using. And the only way to combat that is through having email. Okay. So with that, I wanted to take just like 30 seconds to introduce who we are. This is Gary Kreth. He is our sales and business development expert here at the Paperless Agent. Gary's got over 21 years of top producing real estate sales experience. He's been featured by Apple Computer. They've flown him out there, has done a case study on Gary and the work that he's done. But here's what's important. The strategies that we're going to share with you today, the marketing examples and templates that we're going to share with you today, are based on Gary going on 6 listing appointments every single week at the height of his career. Now, in order to go on that many listing appointments, you need a lot of leads, right? You need a steady flow of leads coming in. And so, Gary, I want you to really dive into the tactical side, because I'm the marketing person, so I'm going to speak to the marketing side. But I want you to be able to give everyone the perspective of, as a someone who sells real estate, this is what makes sense to me, and this is why it makes sense to me. So Gary was going on 6 listing appointments a week with over 50 listings at a time, and doing that pretty much single-handedly. So that is something that I'm excited to share with you guys.
And this gentleman here, this is Chris Scott. He is my partner here at the Paperless Agent now, and is a digital marketing expert. Chris, you started your career almost 19 years ago. It's 18 years ago now, or is it 19?
It was July of 1999.
Okay, so 19 years ago, he started his career running the consumer marketing division for Brian Buffini, and you worked side by side with him for 11 years, really refining your marketing expertise, and then recently ran the sales and marketing divisions for a 2-time Inc. 500 winning company. You guys won that 2 years in a row, which is a huge accomplishment. More importantly, right now, he's helping generate it's actually 6,000 leads every single month for our different operations. And he runs all of our lead generation and marketing for our real estate firm. So we're going to lean heavily on this guy when it comes to the marketing calendar. And with that,
speaking of marketing calendar, Gary, these are the different themes and topics that we're going to address over the next 55 minutes now. So you can take a screenshot of this. I don't want to go through this because we're about to go through this in a tremendous amount of detail. I would like for Gary, if you could remind me, and I'll remind you, that as we go into each one of these months, we want to remind people and show them this is how we're using these 4 different apps and technical tools for marketing incorporated throughout this calendar. Now, there's something very important that we have to point out. So as we go through each one of these months, and I want you guys to pay extra close attention to this, is that the difference between me or Gary doing this and getting a good result, and you doing this and not getting the same result that we get, comes down to the details. Okay?
What do you mean by that?
It comes down to the details of the audience, of the who, and the content of the message, the what.
Okay.
Right? When we mix those things up and don't have the details of the who and the what, or I like to call it the right person and the right message, That's where the breakdowns take place. And so I want you guys to pay extra. When I'm going to be dropping this really quickly in terms of here's who we sent this to and here's what exactly the message said. But oftentimes when people might say, hey, I did that same campaign you did,
and I didn't get the same results.
I didn't get the same result. Well, you know, show me what you sent out. That's not what I sent out.
The devil is in the details.
It is, you know, because someone might say, well, I did a Facebook Live video and it didn't work the way it worked for you guys. Show me your Facebook Live video. Well, that's because you didn't say what I said, or you didn't put it in front of the people that I put it in front of the people. So that is very important. So let's just go ahead. We're going to dive into the first month here, Gary.
Yeah. So I want to point out, Chris, that we have 12 months to go through.
We do. So we got a lot to get through. So January, and by the way, whether you choose to follow this calendar exactly as I've outlined it in terms of the 12 sequential months, you don't have to. Right, you could do different. You could mix this around. This is just the way I've suggested and that I recommend that you do it, but you could do this a little bit differently. So anyway, let's dive into the first one. So in January, one of the things that we like to be able to share, and by the way, we like to share this all the time, is, hey, what the heck is going in the market? You know what I mean?
Well, this is the number one question I get from everybody that I talk to when I see them out socially, is they ask me this question. Hey, Gary, how's the market? Why do they ask me that?
Well, probably because they're curious. They might have a move that they're thinking of in the future, but what's the market doing?
Exactly. So they want to know that question. And well, let's just go ahead and give it to them.
Yeah. So one of the ways that we do that is we produce basic newsletters, right? A simple newsletter, like the one that you see here about what's going on in the market.
Exactly.
And then we just send that out. We want to send that out. But, and this is using email, right? This is just a basic email, but gosh, of all the things that you're doing, if you could be sending emails out very regularly, it's powerful. Now, if you want to put a little sizzle on something like this, you could do what Gary did here.
Yeah, so what I did is I shot a video introducing that month's e-newsletter and with that market report. So I shot an email or a video very quickly. This is where we bring in the online video part technology. And I simply said, hey, want to let you know that the biggest question I always get asked is, how's the market? So what I'm doing is I'm sending a report to you this month. So check your inbox because you're going to receive that. In addition to that, when you have specific questions about your home and your situation, shoot me a message and I will get you an updated market analysis on your home.
So what we're doing is we're sending this we're producing this information. It's relevant. It positions us as experts, and we're getting this out there in more than one format, right? So there's email. We're putting it on Facebook. There's the online video. Gary actually did this, but another version of it. He just did it like a day or two ago. What did you do here?
Well, you asked me. You said, hey, Gary, I want a Facebook Live video that I can then go advertise to everybody on our list. I said, great. So I shot a Facebook Live video talking about how the market is shifting. And if you're curious about how these changes are affecting the value of your home, message me and I'll send you a free detailed report.
So he did this is actually a Facebook Live video.
Yep, again, so we're combining two technologies here. We're combining Facebook and online video.
Yep. And the theme is about what's going on in the market and how it affects you. Now, check this out, Gary. I went ahead and I went into the Facebook Ads Manager account, and I marketed this to, and I just did this like yesterday, and I marketed this to everyone who's visited our website and your database. Right? So there's about 560 some people in Gary's database, and then another, I don't know, 1,000 or so people that have visited our website. So I'm marketing this video, Facebook Live video, using Ads Manager and Facebook. And here's the thing. I spent $2.93.
Oh, you broke the bank.
I broke the bank, spending $2 and got it in front of 353 people.
So I'm going to ask a question real quick. How long will you let this campaign run?
I think I've got this running for about 5 days.
5 days, and so we'll spend about $15 on this?
Yeah, about that much.
Okay. So 5 days. So we will probably get in front of about 1,500 people. Do you think that's fair?
Yeah, all said and done. I mean, it's going to, by the time this campaign is actually over, it's going to be well over 1,000 people who see this. You can see there's actually people seeing it, and 31 people clicked on, 10% of the people, almost 10% of the people not only watched this video, but then they went and they clicked on it to go see what Gary's talking about.
Which is what, I mean, that's the ultimate outcome that we wanted.
Right. And so this is this type of campaign is powerful. And I want you guys to pay attention because we do just went fast and furious. We just did email, Facebook, and then Facebook Live with Facebook ads, all in this one campaign in January. And you can see that we spent such little money to be able to accomplish that. Let's move on to February, though, because we have little time. So in February, what you can do, and this is one of Gary's favorite campaigns to run, and it's our Move Up program. Gary, can you talk about what the 3 steps are, and then we'll get into the marketing for it?
Yeah, so the Move Up program, Chris came to me one day and he said, Gary, if you needed a campaign like to go out to where your next commission actually depended on your actions, what would you do? And I said, oh, easy, Move Up program. And what this is you go through and you research your database and find the people who have been living in their home for more than 3 years. That's critical because right now, statistically, people are moving between every 5 and 10 years nationally, but locally here in Austin, we're much more transient. So we're moving every 3 to 7 years. Next, after you pull the report of who those people are, produce a quick CMA showing the estimate of their home's value and then email it to them. But we're not done.
No.
Third step is we follow up, ideally with a phone call or a text message or a Facebook message, however you normally communicate with that individual. And then here's the final step is create ads targeted to those people about your Move Up Home Buyer program.
So the great thing about this, you're looking within your sphere of influence, but you can also modify this for a geo farming strategy as well. If you can go in there and pull the tax record information out of the MLS to be able to do that. But here with this particular campaign, there's a few things that are happening. By the way, you can use a great tool like RPR, Realty Property Resource, to be able to produce that CMA. How long does that take?
About 2 minutes.
2 minutes. And so here's the thing. This is a high value campaign because it's a very specific group that we're sending this information to. We're producing high value in the form of a CMA, and then we're doing very specific follow-up. So this heavily relies on the use of an older technology like email, but this is where the message makes all the difference. Okay. So I'll just read this real quick. Hi, Chris. In reviewing my records, it looks like you've been in your home for over 4 years. Isn't it amazing how time flies? Out of curiosity, I took the liberty of running a market analysis on your home to see its current estimated value. You can see the analysis attached to this message. Did you know your home's value has increased by approximately 20% in the last 4 years? That's an $80,000 increase. Historically, people move every several years as we go through life's changes. If you're thinking of moving in the next 18 months, I wanted you to know about my Move Up Home Buyer program. When you sell your home with me and buy another within 90 days, you'll get a credit towards your closing costs so you can really move up on your next home. As a side note, timeout, whatever you decide to offer as part of your program, it doesn't have to be a credit. It can be really anything that you've decided to construct, maybe offer, just something of value to the recipient. All right, back into the email. Are you curious about what's for sale? If you'd like access to my customized search tools, please send me a quick message. Thanks. P.S. If you have any friends or family members who could benefit from this program, please tell them about it. Because of you, I'd be happy to make this program available to them.
So you just saw there's so much value that we just gave somebody in a 2-minute market report.
Right. So we send that out via email. Like Gary said, you follow up with a report and then go ahead and run the Facebook ads, because what happens is this type of messaging is something that you want to, like our marketing, we want to have consistent. People oftentimes need to see a message more than once before they decide to act on it.
And there's a term around that you
yeah,
use.
Well, omnipresent marketing, right?
Okay.
We don't want our people to go too far without bumping into us. Now, this also, as you saw by the email, not only does this serve as a good way to serve people that you're sending this information to, did you note the referral opportunity or the word of mouth opportunity that was created in the PS? And that's what I'm talking about. The devil's in the details when it comes to email marketing. This is an example of this type of email is going to provide a great amount of value. It gives you an excuse to call them, right? Hey, I was just curious, so I ran this report, just thought, and I wanted to check in with you on it because I sent you this high value information. And chances are they're going to respond to that because of the work that you did. Now, they don't have to know that it took you 2 minutes to produce CMA.
No, of course not. But especially when you send this out, it is going to look sharp and it's going to look like you spent a lot of time. Real quick, Ashley said, can we get that email template? Ashley, actually, if you stick around to the end of this, we'll show you how you can get that.
All right. So, and then again, you can expand this out for those of you who are already working a farm area. This is a good way to provide high value to people in that farm area, and then back that up with ads because you're using this as a relationship building tool within that farm area. Let's get into March, Gary. March is to market real estate on Facebook and Instagram, and I've got a whole bunch of examples. But
well, real quick, why is marketing real estate on Facebook and Instagram? Why did you choose those two technologies?
Because Gary, like you, I'm a little lazy. And when it comes down to it, Facebook and Instagram has all the people on them. And so I know that instead of having to go to all these different places, I can go to I can go to one place and market to both of these places.
You are lazy.
I know.
I like it. No, we call that efficient.
I'm just trying to save time, and it's cost effective. It saves time. But this is also an example of where if you're, you have to do this correctly, right? What I'm talking about here is the details of how we're going to produce, an advertisement that we want to run on Facebook or Instagram for that matter. And then when they decide to learn more about that, property, is that they can either click on it or swipe on it, and it takes them to a landing page on our website. And this is really a big miss for a lot of us who are marketing real estate, is we don't connect the dot.
Well, one of the biggest misses I see is that if people are using Facebook to promote and advertise real estate, they're normally either doing it on their own personal profile, which is a no-no, or they're just over posting everything on their business page, but they're not running ads. That's one of the things and because just posting on your business page isn't effective anymore.
Well, I mean, it's good to do, right, for a branding purpose, but if you want a lot of people to see it, and you want the right people to see it, then you will have to step into using the advertising platform. Now, the great thing about the advertising platform is that it is pretty easy to use. If you use it correctly, it is low cost. In fact, this specific campaign, and this was for what, an $900,000 home, I think.
That was $900,000.
$900,000 home. Spent $40 to get it in front of 2,547 people.
You remember that old technology called postcards?
What would that have cost you?
$2,500.
$2,500 to get in front of that group.
This is incredible.
Here's another example of using Facebook plus online video to market one of our listings. And again, so when they see this, right, it just plays the video, and then again, this one was a little bit more money. It's a $6 million listing, so it's a little bit more expensive to market this one. Spent $70 to get it in front of 6,986 people. So
wow, that is incredible. So that is super, super cheap. I mean, I would have spent $7,000 to get that
in front of all those people, right? So this is the reason why. And by the way, I wouldn't just market real estate in March. We market real estate every day, all day. Like, this is something that we do to build identity. This is something that we do to build our brand. This is something that we do to build trust, even with the people that just know us or in our sphere of influence or in our farm areas. I don't want them to walk like 2 feet onto Facebook without running into us in some form or capacity, right? So here's another example, marketing this. This one actually shows up in Messenger. So Facebook Messenger, this is a Facebook Messenger ad that shows when they go there. So you really can't go far. Here's an example of a listing that we have on that we're marketing on Instagram, okay? So very simple, very straightforward when we're running these types of campaigns. And again, I showed you the Ads Manager tool, and we're going in here and we're creating a good looking advertisement. And then we're marketing this to the people who are couple of fold, one people who are in the market to buy or sell. The other thing that we're doing is I use like a really, I've been modifying my farming approach for this as well. So I always have a secondary audience of people who would probably recognize that home or the address or that area. So it's like depending on the area, it might be 1 mile radius, might be 2 mile radius, but I want people who live in that area, to see us marketing real estate. And it's just a slight modification to the geo farm. It's kind of a digital farm strategy that I'm doing.
Which, by the way, I've got a lot of questions coming in about Facebook ads. Don't worry, stick around. I will have Chris answer all of these in Q&A.
So by the way, one of the things why I like using a tool like Facebook ads is that I don't have to go to Instagram to post this. It's just a checkbox.
This is where you were saying this is the explanation of your laziness.
Yes, because it's easier for me to go to Facebook, run the ad, than it is for me to go to Facebook and Instagram and all these other places. I can just go create this advertisement once in Facebook and then click the checkbox to say, oh, run this in Instagram as well. So that's what you see here is like, this is the same ad. And, I look all sophisticated just by clicking a checkbox. Right?
So Anna said, what platform do you use that goes directly to both Facebook and Instagram? You're going to use Facebook Ads Manager.
Yep, Facebook Ads Manager. It's the built-in tool because Facebook owns Instagram. They've integrated those two platforms and it just makes it awesome.
So I'm going to read a question. And Mike, I want you to read what's on the screen. Mike says, what if you don't have a ton of listings that you can use for Facebook and Instagram? Gary and Chris, I don't have any listings right now. What do I do?
You know,
How awesome was that, Mike? I love it.
We have a client, Ted Williams, who experienced that. I think it was earlier this year because the season hadn't quite picked up yet, and so we were talking, and he was like, "You know what? I think what I'm going to do is a recently sold campaign."
Yeah.
He's like, because in the last year or so, I've sold a bunch of listings, and so here's an example of what Ted did. He just created a multi-image ad on Facebook, and people can scroll there and see all the, not all of the properties, like a handful of the properties that he sold.
Right.
Now, each one of these, so this is what we call a multi-image ad. You see the little arrows on either side, Gary?
Yes.
As you slide through it, it shows different properties. As you click on the learn more for each one of these cards, each one of these properties, it takes them to a property landing page on their website that has information specifically about that property. And so it's just a recently sold campaign.
Yeah.
And it's a way for you to market that real estate very consistently.
I want to answer one other question. What if I've never sold a house before? Here's what you do is you go to your broker and you ask them if you can advertise some of their recently sold listings. Because here's the thing, the broker owns those listings.
Right.
So they can give you permission to do whatever they want.
All right. Now, we market that. I wanted to point something out. So remember I was talking about the who.
Yes.
Who's this going into? Now, there's two, I always have I have like 3 different audiences. So listings for us will usually go through, and this is fairly new. I don't think I've ever shared this with anybody. For us now, listings go through this arc, this storyline of, because we're in Texas, we can do coming soon campaigns. So it'll go through this coming soon process. It'll go just listed. It'll be a hot listing, i.e. it's active, but all of our active listings are hot listings, by the way. It goes under contract and then it's sold and then it's recently sold, right?
That is a lot of different opportunities that you can use to advertise the same home to the same audience on Facebook and Instagram.
So what happens is my audience for the coming soon and just listed is much larger. It's pretty much anyone who's been paying attention to real estate on Facebook, which I use the targeting for that. And right now, because the targeting that I'm using for our listing, well, Zillow. There's an interest category called Zillow that you can select, and that is the one that Facebook recommends for those of you who are familiar with Facebook ads and had heard that they had gotten rid of the likely to move category. The suggested replacement is Zillow. But I only do that bigger audience just for the first 2 phases. Once it switches to being an active listing and then through the remainder, what I do is I really focus on just a couple of different groups, right? So our sphere of influence.
Our database.
I've uploaded our database into Facebook to run ads to them.
Yeah.
I market to our digital database, which is anyone who has interacted with our website, anyone who's interacted with us on Facebook, and that's a secondary audience. And then that third audience is that really tight geo. It's not even really a geo farm area. It's like a 1 to 2 mile radius of the people who live in the area around that home. Because what I'm trying to do is once we've got that market, once we've seeded this, once we've got it in the marketplace, now I'm shifting to I want to generate more listing opportunities and I want to build identity. So that's a little bit about who. Now, someone might be saying, well, how do you upload your database?
Well, somebody has asked that question.
You go into Ads Manager, go to the audiences section, you go to create an audience, and then select customer file to upload your CSV of the phone numbers and email addresses that you have.
There you go.
Another alternative if you ain't got no listings right now is to convince somebody else in your office to let you hold one of their homes open.
Yep.
Right? So open houses is another strategy. And by the way,
open house strategy. How long have I been selling real estate?
21 years.
Do I still host open houses?
Yes, you do.
Yes, I do. Why? Because it works and it is effective. And this is a really effective way to brand yourself and gain more exposure by using Facebook ads.
And the key emphasis here is on the open house itself. I mean, we can do some cool stuff to market it. But in terms of the lead gen opportunity, the key thing here, and Gary, maybe you could speak to what exactly do you do to turn people, what scripts do you use to turn people who are coming into the door into conversations and then be able to sort and qualify into actual customers?
Well, sure. So number one is make offers of help. Offer to help them with something that they need help with. So the very first thing is I introduce myself and I say, let me know if you need anything. I just leave them alone to tour the home. Then when they come back, that's when I start asking questions.
What kind of questions?
I will say, so what did you think of the home?
It's not for me. That's what they do. They always it's like they're trying to get out the door as quickly as they possibly can.
And so I say, oh, you know what? You're right. This house is not for everybody. What I did is I took the liberty of pulling up every single home in this neighborhood And it's right here on my laptop.
Mm.
Feel free, just go scroll through it and take a look. Spend as much time as you want there.
Do they go over
Every time they go to the computer and they look at every home, and then when they're done, I say, do any of those suit your needs? And or are you intrigued about seeing any of those? And almost every time they're like, yeah, there was one or two. I'd say, great, let me know which ones, and I'm happy to open the door for you at the end of my open house.
Wow. So now what you're doing is you're sorting through those folks to find out, all right, who's really interested in doing this.
Yep.
Do you ever come across people who own a home in the area?
Almost every time.
What do they say?
And this is what most agents say is they're like, oh, they're just tire kickers. They're out there just seeing what's going on in the neighborhood. And I'm like, no. They're there because they're curious about what that home looks like inside, because they're thinking, well, what if we sold our house? How much could we sell ours for?
So they're trying to assess value.
Absolutely.
To interpret, potentially understand what their own home's value is.
And what do? I make an offer of help. I'm like, oh, great, you live in the neighborhood? By the way, I don't know if you're interested in moving or not, but I'm happy to share a detailed market report about your home specifically. What's your mailing address, and then what's the best email address to send that to?
So I think in this case, a lot of times people will discount this activity because people come in and they try to run out the door. But the key is we got to be saying the right things. And you like every open house that you do, you usually find a new customer to work with, right? Or a new opportunity to work with, right? Yep. So if you promote it well, which we use tools like Facebook and everything else available, and then do the open house. Let's move on to May. And May is improving your online identity. Now,
this is month number 5, by the way.
Month number 5. Now, you don't have to do this in month number 5. Some of you might want to do it right now.
Yeah.
But here is an example of a conversation that happens between two people, which is somebody, right, who knows you, has a conversation with somebody that they know about moving.
Absolutely. And so then they say what?
They say, hey, you should work with Gary.
Yeah. And then what happens is that person is going to go online to Google, and they're going to Google me and see what my online reputation is.
Yeah. So according to Google, I think the overwhelming majority of people are going to research us online before working with us. And so whether it's a text conversation or they're at a holiday party, or if they're just talking to somebody and they're like, yeah, we're thinking of moving. Oh, do you have somebody that you're working with? Or, I think a lot of what we're talking about through this consistent marketing produces the opportunity where you do get referred. But what happens after the referral takes place is they research us online.
Yep.
And the question is, what shows up? Does it build trust?
Or does it break it?
Or does it break it? And so I, at least once a year, I'm going to go through and just work on those online identities. I mean, like online video, we can see when you search Gary, video, actually, because we've done such a good job at producing videos for him, you search Gary, and Gary is going to show up not only in the search results, but also as videos that Google has said, oh, that's Gary. And now all of a sudden,
here's the thing, Chris, if you show up all over page 1 of Google.
Well, here's what happened. The person that was referred to you goes online and they're like, Gary must knows what he's talking about. He clearly is an expert on selling real estate.
Right.
And that's what we want to produce, because we can generate opportunities all day long throughout the course of this. But you have, like, our online identity can be the hidden thief of referrals and word of mouth business coming in, because they go online, they look at what they see about us online, and it's kind of lame. And so they're like, you know what? Maybe so-and-so doesn't really know what they're talking about. I think I'm going to ask somebody else for a referral,
Yeah.
So that happens all the time. June campaign. Man, we're moving, Gary. I think we're almost at the halfway mark, which is good because we're at 11.
We're halfway through the year.
Halfway through.
So, the professional dossier. So Chris came to me with this, and he goes, hey, do you have a professional dossier? And I'm like, dude, I'm not in the CIA. Like, what are you talking about?
Well, think of this as like your resume. I mean, how many folks in real estate have a resume?
Most of us don't. Why? Because we're like, well, I don't need a job. But here's the thing. Every single time a client is interviewing us, we're interviewing for a job. Every single time. So this is a little tool that we created that we can send out. You can actually send this out probably twice a year. And the key, again, we're going to look at the email, the content of the email, but first you have to have the thing itself. So professional dossier, it's pretty straightforward. It's a simple document that just contains a bio, a little bit about you, some recent reviews or ratings,
some recent work, which is something that we oftentimes overlook, the fact that we have a portfolio of work, which is our evidence of being experts at what we do.
Yep.
And being able to help people, and then some direct offers of help. And
okay,
so,
when you say direct offers of help, give me an idea of what you're talking about here.
So at the bottom, you can see, hey, are you thinking of moving? Message me about my Move Up Buyer program. Access our home search tools online at this website.
Yep.
Curious about the market? Ask me about my Austin market report, right?
Yep.
So what this is doing is, instead, we call this call to action, okay, in marketing vernacular. This is a call to action. So whenever you're producing marketing, there should always be the logical next step for the percentage of viewers who read it and say, oh, this is useful. This is helpful. I need to talk to somebody about this. What's the logical next step? Well, I put 3 of them here because I don't know where this is going. Now, this is the dossier. Now, here's where the attention is again in the details, and it's in the email that you attach this document to and send out.
So we're not just creating a dossier, we're sending this out to the database.
Yeah. That's the whole point in creating it.
Right.
So this is not just going out to like prospects. This is going to your sphere of influence. Pretty much anyone you have an email address for, this is going out to. And it's really straightforward. And the subject line is, your friends and family will thank you for this. Thank me for what?
You're like,
And this is based off of a common experience that I think we've all had, where somebody that we know gets in a bind in real estate with another agent, and then they call us to ask us for help. Have you ever had that happen?
This happens all the time. I'll have somebody, they're like, hey, Gary, I'm so embarrassed to tell you this, but we hired this our neighbor's kid to list our house. And man, I think we're in trouble here. Could you take a look at this contract that they're submitting to us? I'm so embarrassed. I'm like, yeah, absolutely. I'll take a look and help you out here.
So this is something to be thanked for. So here's what the email says. It says, have you ever found yourself in a serious bind? You'd be surprised how often I've run into people who are trying to buy or sell a home, who aren't my clients yet, and found themselves stuck at a standstill or heading for disappointment, right?
Boy, that is a power word right there.
Though I'm always happy to help these folks out, they wouldn't be in this situation if they'd hired the right professional to start with, which is the point of this message. Because you're part of my network, I want to make sure everyone you know won't find themselves in a bind when it comes to buying or selling their next home. If someone you know is thinking of buying or selling the next home, please use my recently updated professional dossier to refer them to someone they can trust. That's me. And they will definitely appreciate you for helping them avoid a major pitfall when it comes to buying or selling their next home.
This is awesome, because this is you're basically sending them something to remind them of what you do, but also giving them a referral tool.
It is. And we make it exceptionally hard for our clients to refer us in real estate.
We do. We're and it's because we're not offering them something to give other than, like, I remember back in the old days, I'd give them business cards and say, here's 10 business cards, pass them out. And they, you know what happens to those business cards? They go in their kitchen drawer and they never surface again.
Or maybe you sent recipe cards out. Like, here's the problem with recipe cards. It's great for someone to refer a recipe. When it comes to selling a home and avoiding a pitfall and disappointment, I don't know if the recipe card is going to cut it yet.
I don't know if it's going to cut it.
I know your meatloaf is awesome, but I just don't know if it's going to help me sell this home right now. I don't know if your meatloaf is going to, help me with this contract right now. So very important. We make it hard for our clients to refer us because a couple of things happens. One is we don't do that great a job of staying in touch. The average person knows, according to research, the average person knows, because of technology today and social media, the average person knows 600 people. Actually knows 600 people.
That's a lot more than we used to.
Now, assuming that within that 600 people, they move, according to National Association of Realtors, every 10 years, that means 60 people are moving every single year. Now, not all
Chris,
of them,
I didn't do 60 deals last year.
Well, not all of them live near you, so let's say it's half of them, right? There's 30 deals sitting out there that you're probably not picking up, or maybe you're getting some, but you're not getting them all. In fact, when it comes to home sellers, only 22% of them work with their previous agent. That's a horrible recapture rate.
Horrible recapture rate.
That's a horrible recapture rate. It's because we just don't do a good job at doing something like this, which is send them something relevant to real estate.
Yes.
Set up ourselves as an expert, so they have a reason to work with us as opposed to, oh, my neighbor's kid or whatever that, right?
Yeah, no, we don't want to do this. By the way, this is all about differentiation. And Courtney, she said, is the professional dossier sent via email? Yes, it is.
That's enough. So you'll see that we do a lot of email. Now, we did a lot of Facebook, and we do a lot of online video. We did a lot of Instagram. One of the things that I like about email is that no one's going to charge me money to send the email.
Well, not only that, Chris, that dossier, it has active hyperlinks in it. So when they open it and they click, it will take them to the videos.
Even with using something like Facebook and Instagram, I don't have some entity that's throttling the distribution, right?
Yes.
Email's going to go, and it's going to be based on how good did I write that email and how good did I write that subject line. That's what's going to get that thing open. I don't have algorithms to deal with, and I don't have money to spend. Now, I do all of it, but you're going to see that email is very effective. Now, this next one is called the professional network, and I think this can best be described just by reading this email, and it gives people a sense of what the value is being promoted.
All right.
This has multiple strategies to it, but you want to read it?
Absolutely. Hi, Chris. Did you know that a fresh coat of paint on the inside and out can make your home feel like new?
Get the subject line. Subject line.
Why is a realtor writing about paint? Because we sniff it so much. No. It can also help you get a top dollar if you're thinking of selling your home. This month, I'm featuring my trusted connection for taking care of all your home painting needs. Jim Steele of Steele Blah. Since you're my client, I want to give you access to my professional network. So this is the offer of help here. What's that? In my line of work, I'm always on the lookout for people I can trust to take care of my clients. Huge offer of help. My professional network consists of the service professionals, business owners, and local firms I trust and recommend. So if you're thinking about getting some painting work done, message me and I'll make a personal introduction to make sure you're treated like a VIP. So P.S. Since you're my client, Steele Paint and Remodeling is offering a special offer. As my client, you're entitled to whatever that special offer is when you paint 2 or more rooms. Contact Jim Steele.
So here's the thing. This is a great value to our database, but here's the other component. We get to go out to our professional network and say, I'd like to send this email out to everybody I know. Is there something that you could offer my database?
Yep.
And what I'm trying to do is build up this professional network. And how many of the people that you refer, your mortgage broker, the painter that you recommend, the carpet person, how many of them have somebody doing this for them?
None of them.
Right. And if you were to do this for them, don't you think that they would want to refer you as well?
It's called reciprocation. So absolutely. Not only that, everybody I know, Chris, they want to offer. If I tell them I'm going to send something like this out to my entire database, do you think they'll create a special offer just for my folks?
Heck yeah.
Absolutely.
So this is actually a really easy way to expand your influence by going out to your service providers and other professionals and going out and saying, I want to send this email out to my database to provide value. Is there something that you'd be willing to offer? By the way, if there's any help that you would need, if there's anybody that you know who's thinking of moving, please refer them my way. I'd be happy to take good care of them as well.
You got it.
So just a great way to expand your database. Now, this August campaign is all about omnipresent marketing, which I implement all year long, but I've decided to focus on it in August. And
omnipresent marketing.
This is a simple concept. Sorry.
But okay, so what is omnipresent marketing? Because the first time you told me that, I looked at you and I'm like, what are you talking about?
I know. It's like, Chris, you smoking that marketing stuff again? I mean, you're coming up with all these crazy ideas. And I said, Gary, this is a simple practice that we experience every day of our lives.
Yep.
And it's this. There are firms, there's organizations, there's individuals that we bump into constantly. In fact, think of if you think about it, even from in a real estate perspective, let's consider that one farm area that has that one agent that has like 50% market share. Well, here's the thing. The people who live in that neighborhood, they can't they can't drive 2 blocks without running into their sign, right? If that person's doing online marketing, they can't go more than 3 clicks without running to their ads on Facebook or anywhere else. And so the idea is that I am someone who is in your sphere of influence, and no matter where I go, I see you on Facebook, I get your newsletter, you're leaving me voicemails or talking to me on the phone, we have messenger conversations, I see you on Instagram, I see your signs in the yard, I see your signs on the internet. And so it is wherever I go, I bump into you.
That is omnipresence. And man, here's the thing. Omnipresence is not something you do once
it's something you always do.
It is consistency. Consistency.
Now, this is probably one of the greatest ways to be able to develop that word of mouth, as well as recapture your existing clients. Because let's say you get a little lazy and you miss a month in sending out your newsletter. Well, you have this ongoing marketing, so it's not, and if it's value-based, they're always getting good stuff from you, right? So let's look at a few examples. We showed the example of marketing real estate. I want people to see all the time us selling real estate.
Why, Chris?
Because it builds the evidence, the proof in their mind That's what we do.
Exactly.
How else would they get a sense of what it is like to work with us or what we do when we work with them unless they're working with us in that moment?
Exactly. They need proof of concept. They need the visual proof that, by the way, this is a great reminder. If we have not stayed in touch with people, this is a great way to stay in touch.
Right. So again, remember we had uploaded our database. We can market this to those individuals. My favorite one now, though, is actually doing videos.
Yes.
Right, where we're sharing expert advice. And so you have an example of here, just Gary and myself talking about how to choose a real estate agent.
Boy, I mean, high value. We created an ad around this, got a lot of views on that. So really powerful way to use online video, not just on Facebook, but also on YouTube.
Yeah. I put this stuff on YouTube. You can see at the time I took the screenshot, some 4,000 views on this particular video. And it's this one was actually on is it still a home seller's market video that we had shot. And so this is the thing, like online video is a very low cost way. So I mean, I don't have the example, but when I do like those expert videos to market to our database and even to the farm areas that we do, it's about 2 to 4 cents per video view.
That is so inexpensive, really affordable thing to do here. And by the way, like Chris was saying, Facebook is really favoring video right now. So is YouTube, because they're in a heated battle for our money. And that's why those ads are so affordable.
Yeah. Now, let's keep moving along. This right here is probably the bread and butter campaign. This is the one that you want to have running all year long, but perhaps maybe, in September is the time I decide to focus on
down. MVP, monthly value program.
So a lot of the emails that we were sending out, like the professional dossier email and the client welcome kit email that we're going to talk about shortly, and some of these other emails are based on this. And it's that you have to provide value constantly to your sphere of influence, to your database, to the farm areas that you serve. Because if you really zero in on a specific group of people instead of just like the entire market or anyone who's been searching a website or one of the home search sites, but you actually zero in and provide value to a group, you're implementing that concept of omnipresent marketing, but you're also building and instilling that concept of reciprocation. So when you provide value, it is within our human nature to want to reciprocate in some form or fashion, whether that be when I do want to sell my home or when I want to buy a home, you're going to be the person I work with, or just referring you and saying good things about you might be the thing to do, right? So what we want to do is every month send out something useful, something valuable.
Remember, he said every month. Again, we're getting back to that consistency.
So here's an example of one on the 7 steps to a seamless move. We posted on our blog, on our website. We produce a newsletter that we email out to folks with the same theme. We put it onto Facebook, all again based on the same theme. Put it on the Instagram, again based on the same theme. We actually
this omnipresence right here.
We're picking up the phone and leaving voicemails and talking about the information that we sent out. If we're following up with your database, what would you say?
Well, I'd say, hey, Chris, this is Gary. You know what? I just recently sent out 7 steps to a seamless move, and I wanted to make sure that you received that. Did you get that in the email?
Yeah, I did see that.
Oh, great. Do you have any questions about that or anything I can help you with that?
No, but it did, I was talking to so-and-so, and they said they were thinking of moving.
Oh, gosh. You know what, Chris? Why don't you do this? If you don't mind, go ahead and forward that article to them and then let them know that I'm going to be in touch with them. What's the best way for me to get in touch with them?
So what you're doing is you're just creating a conversation. A lot of us don't want to pick up the phone and call people or even message them or do whatever form of communication that you want to do with them because we don't have anything to say. This just gives you something to talk about, right?
Yep.
And what you can do is say, hey, I've been sending some information out. Wanted to see if you had any questions about it. Well, this month we're talking about the 7 steps to seamless move because it's the time of year when people are thinking and planning about moving, all right? Now, here's the thing. I shared all the different ways that we're sending this out. This next email that I'm going to share with you literally created for us how many dollars in gross commissions?
$120,000.
$120,000. So this next email is the email that we sent out because Lazy Bones here forgot to send out our campaign to his database.
Busy. Do you guys get busy too? I mean, every so often, do you forget to send out an e-newsletter? Maybe it's been 6 months since your last e-newsletter.
I asked Gary, I was like, hey man, when's the last time you got this out to the to our database? And he was like, it's been a little bit. And I was like, how long's a little bit? Oh, I don't know. A month. I don't know. It's been a little while. I was like how long? A little while. And then it resurfaces 6 months.
6 months? Sorry. And so he goes, you have to send out an apology letter.
Yes, we had to send out an apology letter because we had a break in our consistency of communications. So we send this out. Now, by the way, I wouldn't, the last thing I expected was for a couple of people to email them back saying, oh, Gary, I've been meaning to call you because we've been wanting to sell our home or buy our home. This was just to create the excuse of why I was going to start sending them information every single month again, right?
Yeah.
And it's quite simple. It just goes, hey, my apologies. Hey, Gary, you're entitled to a confession from me. So a lot of mystery and intrigue built into this email. I haven't stayed in as close touch or contact with you as I would have liked to. I apologize for that. It's entirely my fault. Recently, I recommitted myself to working by referral and now understand the kind of people I want to work with are just like you. What does this mean? What does that have to do with me, you might be asking? In order to work by referral, I intend to take even better care of you in hopes of earning your referrals and word-of-mouth business in the future. My first order of business to take care of you is provide you with some tools, resources, and real estate tips and advice from time to time. In this example, we actually just linked them to our YouTube channel, but you could just as easily link your
directly back to the blog article.
To the blog article or whatever it is, whatever useful information, and we sent that out. This little letter is something that I learned when I was working with Brian Buffini.
Mm-hmm.
I did a little modification to this, but it's based on this concept of wanting to build that relationship, right?
Yeah.
And build on a relationship. In order to do that, our end of the deal is we're providing value to them, so we have to continuously provide value to them. Let's move on. Gosh.
October, share your expertise on Facebook video. Really, really, really important. This is where we go through and we share our knowledge and expertise about real estate with people by answering questions.
So what I've done, we make it a point to release a new video, I don't know, once or twice a month.
Right.
So every month, and you can see an example of it. But what I've done is because we are releasing a new video at once or twice a month, it has a good time frame of marketing. But then what I do is I have a collection of these videos in a Facebook advertisement. So you can scroll through this ad, and it's going to show all the different videos that are in this collection, and they're all on different topics. So Facebook has this really cool, in the advertising thing, has this really cool feature called optimize the image or the card based on the viewer. So based on the viewer, and whether they've seen one of the previous videos, it's going to show a different one on there.
That's so smart.
So Lazy Bones Marketing here, I create this ad and just let it run. And I think I'm spending $1 or $2 a day
breaking the bank
to run this one. And what happens is they click on it, and then sometimes it'll either play the video, other times it takes them to our blog where I've got the full video on there, right? And so this does several things. And the reason why it's so important to share your expertise is that in the mind of the viewer, it reinforces that you have knowledge and expertise and experience that they don't.
Exactly. And what does that do is it builds trust with that person. They start trusting you more and more the more knowledge you drop on them.
Well, here's the other thing. It sets you apart from maybe somebody else that they know to say, gosh, I don't know if so-and-so, my spouse's younger brother who just got his license, he's brand new to this. I don't know if he knows all this stuff, right? And so all of a sudden you're creating in their mind this concept that you're special, you're different, you're an expert at this. And all you're doing is declaring it by sharing the advice in the first place.
You got it.
And so you can do this through video. I think video is probably the most effective way to do it, but you don't have to do this through video. You could also do this through authoring blogs and sharing your advice and information. I just find that video is the lowest cost way to get this
lowest cost
information.
and high engaging.
Yep.
A lot of engagement there.
All right. So we're moving on to November. And this one again is using online video. But Gary, you've told me that it's this time of year historically that you and your brother, which the three of us consist of our real estate team, that historically this is when you sell the most real estate.
Yeah, this may shock you, but this season in the fall and winter time is the highest selling season for us. And it's because when other realtors are hibernating and they're not working and they're telling their clients to withdraw the homes from the market, we are really pounding the pavement here. And so what do? We create a video dropping our knowledge on them about when is the best time to sell the house.
I think that was also, it's right here. That's also in Facebook as well. So it's getting good promotion. And you want to remind people that hey, there's still a real estate market out here.
Yep.
There's still homes that are selling out here. And so just sharing the information, sharing your expertise and advice is a good way to get that out.
Yep.
I wanted to now go
into... I love
this.
this one. You guys pay attention. This is one of my favorite ones, and that is the client welcome kit in December.
Yes, well, here, this also, similar to the professional dossier, is something that we produce not only for clients, for new clients.
Right.
We produce this to send to everybody in our database at least once a year, update it and send it out. And it reaffirms that, oh, Gary sells real estate. I have a tool to refer him with. There's lots of value packed into this thing. So I'm also going to show them the email that we use to send this out.
Oh, cool.
First, we got to talk about what the heck is the client welcome kit.
What is the client welcome kit?
So this, I originally created this because I wanted to turn more of our prospects, right? More of our prospects into customers. And this, Gary, you call this the assumptive close, right?
This is the assumptive close. Yeah, we call it a client welcome kit, and we send it to everybody. And we had one realtor say, but wait, you send it to non-clients too? And I'm like, yes, because I'm going to assume that they will become a client of mine. So if we just send it to them, say, hey, thank you, this is my client welcome kit, explaining all of our services, they're like, in their mind, they're like, oh, how nice. He's already treating me like a client.
Yes. So this not only helps to convert more prospects or leads into customers, which is why I originally created it, but then I realized the opportunity of, wait a minute, if we send this to everybody we know and say, hey, we recently updated this, and please feel free to share this with the people that you know. Now, all of a sudden, not only does this help, with online leads or with even just, Gary sends this out as part of his pre-listing packet every time he goes on a listing appointment. But I can also send this out to our database, to our sphere of influence, and tell them they can share this with people that they know.
Boy, tool of referral. We're giving them another tool of referral here.
Now, it's all, the detail here is all in the format. So what you want to do, and I'm going to show them the example of ours, but you want to provide useful tips, lots of expert advice. Remember, we've been talking about this expert advice. Show the advantages of working with you, make some specific offers of help, and set expectations. So here's an example of what it looks like. Pretty straightforward. This is in a PDF. We have it in a PDF, so they can just get this as a PDF.
Yep.
A little bit about Gary. All right. We have some resources, all about the resources.
Now, remember, we're using online video to share our knowledge, to expose these resources to them.
But you can easily share blog posts. And if you don't have that, the National Association of Realtors has some really good consumer-related advice that you could just link to. So it's more about being the source of this expertise and advice. And so we have some home buying resources and videos that they can watch. We talk about the advantages of working with us and what advantages that we're going to produce for them, right? We talk about our expertise. We talk about our negotiation strategies. We talk about the rapid response time. And then this is an example of the making a direct offer of help.
Direct offer of help, talking about our home buyer direct access program.
Yep.
All that is setting up a search for them in the MLS.
Right? It is. It's something that we would do anyway, but we're packaging it up into something that they could take advantage of, right? So remember, we were talking about a good call to action is the logical next step for the person who's reading it who wants to take the next step. Well, I've been just reading about this. I've gotten tips from you on home buying. I've looked at the advantages for the person where the logical next step is to message you to get access to this program. Now, of course, we want to make sure we address the same information, but from a selling perspective, I've reorganized it just slightly different to selling advantages first, because I want them to see those advantages. Again, we have resources and information where we're educating them on things like getting their home ready for sale, pricing strategy,
go-to market plan, sample marketing video, like really sharing the best valuable content that we can. So we're building trust.
This is like the Trojan, the client welcome kit.
Trojan horse.
It's a Trojan horse. It is, because it's set up as this welcome kit, this value pack, and it has all these things that are little hooks that get people into the next step with you. And that's
my expert home value analysis, also known as a CMA.
Or a listing appointment.
Or a full listing appointment. That's right.
So what we're doing is we're just setting this up so the logical next step makes sense, and we're providing value because of all the resources that we're sharing.
Next, we also inform them that we will be sending out monthly reports. So this is the assumptive close. We're going to send them, remember, what is it called? MVP?
The monthly value program.
So we're sending them monthly reports, and we're telling them that they're going to be receiving these.
We talked about the professional network
we
earlier,
already talked
that
about
email.
this.
So we set that expectation. We have some contact information. Now here's the email that you send.
Yes,
right?
This is one of the most important parts of all of this, is the email attaching that the client welcome kit to it.
So it reads like this: a copy for you. Subject line: has anyone ever told you that they were thinking of moving? In my line of work, it happens all the time. Whenever someone is thinking of moving, you can do them a huge favor by providing some tips and advice from an expert.
Which is why I wanted to get you a copy of my recently updated client welcome kit. It contains lots of advice and tips for anyone thinking of buying or selling a home. This client welcome kit is something I've started sending to my new clients to help educate them. But I wanted to get you a copy so you can send it to the people you know who are thinking of moving. Feel free to share this with your friends and family. Thanks. Love you, Chris. P.S. If you're thinking of moving in the next 6 to 12 months, let me know so I can set you up with a custom search from MLS or provide you with a market analysis of your home.
So that is the email that we're going to send out and attach this to.
Yep.
And that really completes the 12 months of marketing using tools like Facebook, using tools like online video, email, and Instagram. Now I have a question for everybody.
Monique just said, can you make your kit available to us?
What do you want the templates from today's training? The specific templates I'm talking about are the client welcome kit template as well as the professional dossier template. Here's the thing. You can get these templates when you join our club, okay? Now, you might be asking, what the heck is your club? Our club is going to give you a digital marketing campaign every single month. So remember that MVP program that we talked about where you get where we're sending out a newsletter and a blog post and emails and social media posts? We're going to give that to you every single month. So here's an example of the PDF/newsletter report that we're going to provide you with. We send you an email. We even give you the email to attach that to send that out to. We give you the blog post that you can post on your website on this information. We give you a Facebook post. We give you an Instagram post, even a Pinterest post out there. And I think we might even provide a LinkedIn post. In addition to that, we want to make sure it's super easy. So we even give you the phone script that you can use to either talk to people or to leave voicemails. In addition to getting a marketing campaign every month, we're going to give you a marketing website where we post that blog from the MVP on your website every single month. Now, this marketing website also includes landing pages to market listings as well as for lead generation. By the way, if you have a website, this is meant to complement your existing web presence, not replace it. Okay, it's just making it easier for clients to find you online. Here's an example of what my site looks like, and maybe later on, if you're more curious about what those look like, I can pull it up. But wait, there's more. You're also going to get access when you join our club to our template library with hundreds of downloadable tools and templates. For example, all the emails that I shared today, those are templates in our template
You're going to get every single one of them.
So all those emails, you can just go in there, search for the email.
That confession, that apology letter or confession letter that is earning us $120,000. We're going to get that to you.
Yeah, it's called when you go in there, it's called the re-engagement letter when you're running the search, by the way. You're going to get access to our training library where we cover all types of sales, marketing, and technology so that you can continue to stay up to date on what's taking place in our real estate industry when it comes to applying these tools to our real estate practice. You're also going to be able to join Gary, myself, and our whole team on training sessions that we do twice a month just to keep everybody up to date on what are the things that we're doing in our own real estate practice that are working, and also be available to answer questions that you might have. You can easily cancel our club online, hassle-free, with no questions asked. There's no contract, there's no commitment. So you can get those templates and all the features of the club when you join today for only $67.
That's so funny. Inez just said, where do we sign up? Spill the beans.
Now, I've got an extra special bonus gift because we did have a lot of questions about Facebook. I'm throwing in, when you sign up right now, our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program as an extra special bonus when you join our club. It's going to give you everything you need to use the Facebook advertising platform. It's got advertising templates and checklists and demonstration videos so that you can use and run the same campaigns that we're running and understand how to use that ad platform. We show you how to do just listed campaigns, open house campaigns, lead gen ads, messenger ads, branding ads, pretty much anything that we're doing, it's in there, and we show you how to do that in the program. I wanted to share a quick client report from Teresa. She says that, I want to say a huge thank you to the Paperless Agent team. Thank you, Gary, Jordan, Chris, and the whole team behind the scenes. We actually tripled our income in 2017 over 2016. We sold over $9 million, all because we followed the Paperless Agent plan. We started doing open houses again, and we followed the sales action plan to reignite our client contacts. We've been with another office for a long time and never had this level of marketing material. And so thank you to Teresa for sharing that excellent report that we just wanted to share with you guys. So if you want to join our club and get access to our client welcome kit template, our Facebook marketing for real estate program, and that professional dossier template, as well as all those emails and stuff that we shared with you as well, just click on the offer button that is showing up.
Yep.
And you'll get signed up. And please do it now so that you can get these bonus gifts. Otherwise, this offer will expire.
And so this is what you need to do, and this is what's going to happen. Number one is you go over to where that blue button says Join Club Now. If you click on that button, it's going to open up the order form. You sign up. As soon as you sign up, we instantly send you an email giving you instructions of what to do next. You're going to find that in your inbox. If it disappears from your inbox, it's perhaps going to be hanging out in your spam folder. Go check there. And if you're using Google, head on over to the promotions tab. Sometimes our emails end up there as well. You'll be able to sign up, log in, and get started right now. And do it right now. Like Chris said, you're going to be able to download our client welcome kit templates that you can download and customize. You're going to be able to learn from Chris and his digital marketing mastery of Facebook marketing for real estate. And you get to download our professional dossier template that you can customize and start using right now. So go do it now, because we're going to get into Q&A right now. All right, Chris, we have quite a few questions.
Okay.
First one, Rob. Rob,
three.
By the way, Rob, I wanted to say, Rob, you've been very active on chat. Thank you so much for helping out a lot. Rob just said this is a no-brainer. Rob is a friend of ours from California Association of Realtors. Welcome, Rob. So he's going to be signing up. Next. God, look at all these questions. Juliana says, can all the templates and letters be downloaded so we can put our branding throughout?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so like the client welcome kit template is in Keynote and PowerPoint. Professional dossier is in Pages in Microsoft Word. And so, yeah, you'll be able to customize them, make them your own. I mean, I think that's the point, right? Is like make this easy for yourself. And that's what we try to accomplish in our club is we just share with you the things that we're doing in the raw formats that we're sending it out so that you can customize it, make it your own. I mean, even the website that we provide, you can customize, the information that's showing up there, the bio, your pick, but then everything else is just done for you, right? So it's all easy to use. It's using a WordPress platform, so you can go in and actually modify blog posts.
Yep.
So the website we provide, it's got all the, every month we're posting different resources. If you want to market listings like we had shared with you today, you can actually create property landing pages very easily using our marketing website. So all customizable, make it your own. And even the blog posts, we take a lot of care in making sure that they're professionally written, that they make you look and sound like an expert. Here's just a recent one that I'm going to pull up. Are you covered? A homeowner's insurance guide. And you can see it's a very thorough post. Nothing better demonstrates that you're an authority or an expert on something than just sharing this information and people see it and verify that it is, in fact, something that you know what you're talking about.
And like Chris said, when you join, you not only get that website, but we will automatically post those blog articles to your website for you.
Yep.
So, all right, next question is from Karen. Karen says, do you work with agents from Canada? Absolutely. Yeah, I think about 12% of our club membership is from Canada. So absolutely.
And what happens, because we're providing you with a marketing campaign every month,
right?
When we do a campaign that's relying on U.S. sources, we create a separate version of our marketing campaign for our Canadian clients so that it references Canadian statistics and information.
Yep. All right. Rob said, is there a Facebook group? That's hilarious. He nailed it before I could get to it. Thank you, Rob. Yes, there is. There is a private Facebook group, and it's only of our club members. And when you sign up, you'll go to this Facebook group. You will ask for permission to join. We'll let you join. What's great about this group is not just the collective of mind sharing and brainstorming and best practices, but also we're referring business back and forth on that site constantly. There's so many referrals going back and forth. So yeah, you get all of that.
Okay. Yep. Referral for Tavares, Florida. Please PM them.
There you go. Well, I think a lot of people have, there you go. Yeah. Okay. Luis says, thank you so much for sparking some excitement on getting going again and ready for next year. Just signed up. Welcome, Luis. Cannot wait to see you in the program. Next question. There's so many here, Chris. I'm going to have to go through. Vanessa says, is the client welcome kit just an email or an actual mail? It's actually whatever you want it to be, because you can download it and then you can send it to a printer and have them print it and bind it.
You could totally go the next step, which is to print it out and either mail that or deliver that. It's a we create it as a PDF, and then we attach that to an email to send out. But it is okay to create variations in that for folks. One of the things that you might do is take it, print it out, hand deliver it, right, as just a way of stopping by and providing something useful. And use the same. You can use, when you share that with somebody, the same language that's used in the email that we provide, but you could easily explain the same thing and say, hey, I wanted to make sure everybody has a copy of this so that if you run into somebody, please feel free to share with it. And then let me know so I can get you another copy. And then you'll ask them, who did they give it to? And then you'll follow up.
Easy peasy. Let's see. So a couple of different things on the dossier. Johnny says, I'm going to read off a couple of these questions, and then I'll let you answer them while I find the next one.
Okay, cool.
Johnny says, is the dossier in PDF format with the hyperlinks? Tina says, any suggestions on how to make a dossier for newer agents? Mm-hmm. And Dwight said the same thing about being a newer agent. So
how about I answer the easy one, and I'll let you answer the harder one, because that sounds good to me.
Yeah.
So yes, it's in a PDF with the digital links that are hyperlinked. So in the professional dossier, what you want to do, let's see if I can find it here. There it is. So you see where like the For You, where the offers of help, the thinking of moving, or the access my home search tools, you can make those clickable, right?
Yep.
You can even make it pop up their email client so that they can respond via email. Now, if you're brand new, the bio section, that's easy enough to do. What would you suggest for recent reviews and recent work if they're brand new?
Recent reviews and recent work, I would go to the broker and find out what are some reviews that they have about the brokerage. So as you're a newer agent, anytime that you need some additional content or some kind of power behind you, go to the powerhouse, go to your broker,
right,
and say, you know what, I need to lean on you. It's one of the reasons that you should choose your brokerage, is how they're going to help you with that.
I mean, hopefully they're supporting you and being able to help you get that experience or necessary information for you to be able to get business.
Yep. So as a newer agent, lean on your broker and start using not only their listings, but also reviews.
Because we could easily say, instead of Gary Kreth is an exceptional real estate professional, the Kreth Partners has exceptional real estate professionals, right? And so, and by the way, if you get, like, let's say one of the things that we do is we ask our clients for reviews. And sometimes, like, I have a bunch of emails, for example, because Jonathan just went through this and he forwarded a bunch of emails with them. And, it's okay to email them back and say, is it okay if I say this instead? And then it's not like they're going to be like, oh, I can't believe you want to change the language. They were like, hey, you know what? You could even make it easier and send them a canned review that sounds great and say, you want to make it easy for you. Post this,
Well, and that's actually what's that?
A template for reviews to make it easy for them to be able to share that.
Yeah. Give it to them and just get approval. All right. Next question from Jason. Jason said, I am totally sold on this. How do I sign up and what do I get? So I'll just run through this real quick. Number one is you're joining our Paperless Agent Club. And in the club, you're going to get so much, including two training sessions every single month from us and our team. You're going to get the monthly value program, where you're getting an e-newsletter to send out every single month. You're going to get a marketing website that you're going to be able to post all of your listings on and have landing pages, which, by the way, Chris, somebody had a question about landing pages. Okay. I'm going to get to that. But not just all of that, you're basically joining a community of like-minded professionals all over North America who are banding together to improve this real estate industry together. And you get that for $67 a month. There is no you can cancel at any time. And the bonuses for being here with us today is you're getting our client welcome kit templates, you're getting our Facebook marketing for real estate, and you're getting our professional dossier template, which is what? It's $1,200, almost $1,400 worth of bonuses as a thank you for joining the club today. And the way to join is over on the chat section. There's a blue button. It says join club now. Go click on that hyperlink and you're going to go to a page and you'll just sign up and then you're going to get an email. So go do that right now because we're going to get to some more questions. And then at the end of this Q&A session, we're going to shut down the training session and this offer is going to disappear there for you. Okay, so Chris, landing page. This is the question right here is Tiffany said, what landing page service do I use?
Well, if you're not already using something, I highly suggest using the one that we've created. And the reason is that, like you, many of our clients had this problem, is they didn't have a place, they didn't have their own website, or they didn't have a really good landing page location. So we ended up creating a landing page feature. It started with being able to just market listings. So we added this, and it literally takes you if you've got the photos ready to go, it takes you 2 minutes to create this page because it's all just drag and drop.
Right.
But we also have a bunch of other landing page formats, like offering home value reports, like offering instant notifications from the MLS. So we have all these other like lead generation type landing pages. But when it comes to just being able to market a listing really solidly, this is what I would recommend, because you're going to pay, like there's a lot of software out there, like Lead Pages, for example, is one. I really like Lead Pages, and for our training business, I utilize that. But it's like it's like $97 a month or something like that, right? It's $97 a month or something, like $70 a month. And it's really hard to use, right? Like it's very complicated. And so that's why we ended up creating the marketing website, is to make it a heck of a lot easier.
So I think what you did is you said, how do we design a marketing website that even Gary can use? Yeah. And so if it's Gary proof, you're going to be just fine.
Well, so much of the software out there is just, it's hard to use. It's expensive, right? They want anywhere from $60 to $100 a month to use it. And then, and that's it. All you get to do is use that service. And then you still have to deal with connecting it to all these different places to be able to get the inquiries and all that kind of stuff. So anyway, I suggest that you use ours. Of course, I'm biased because it's our program, but it is why we created the marketing website.
Yep. For you. Well, and for me too. Okay, next question. Luis said, you shared some great scripts on this webinar. Do I get them when I join the program?
Yeah, I think what you can do is all of the campaigns that we've trained on, you can search for the resources in the library, and a lot of it is emails, right? So most of these scripts that we've extracted out, with the exception of the open house one, are emails that are converted into scripts, or vice versa. We took Gary's script and I converted it into an email. With the open house ones that we shared today, we actually did a training session where we covered that. So that's why we have that training library, is you can go in and there's literally like hundreds of topics that we've covered in our training library. Everything from doing an open house.
So you're answering a question. Somebody just said, what about open house training?
We covered open house training. We covered creating home buyer guides. We've created using tools like Instagram. We've done online ratings and reviews. So all these training sessions where we realized there's something that we were doing and there was something that we felt like our clients ought to be doing or suggest that they do, and we're just sharing our best practices and what's working. That's when we go and we produce those member trainings that we do, and then we just share that. We just put that into that training library, so you can go through and find whatever you're trying to accomplish. In fact, I could maybe, while you're pulling up the next question, Gary, I'll just pull it up real quick here. So
I'm going to answer this question while you work on that. Holly says, I already have a website through Remax. Should I use yours instead? And then Michael says, how does your website work with a current website? So here's the thing, is that I have a website with my brokerage. I have our own IDX website, but I also use this website because remember when Chris was talking about, I don't remember which month you were talking about with your online identity. In May. So as you're working on your online identity, the more sites that you have out there with this content out there, the more you're going to show up on that page one. I mean, look at me. I'm all over page one here that Chris is looking at. And this is our, so that top one is our professional IDX website that we had created. But especially if you are a brand new agent and you are and you don't have the budget to get a huge IDX site, which is not necessary for you right now, this is a great supplemental marketing website to use.
Yeah, and to that point about whether they're using, if they already have a Remax site or any other site, I would say if you're using that and it's working for you, great. Just add this to it, because it's not like you have to do anything to maintain it.
Yep.
It's just another potential search result that shows up. And so when you go into your library, you're going to find, I wanted to show everybody the training library section. So when you go.
So basically, when you sign up and you get that email to log in, he's showing you what you're going to see.
So this is just the training library portion. And you can see we've covered so many topics, everything from recharge your online reputation, getting your website found on Google, Instagram strategies, more updates on Facebook. But I don't know. I mean, I could be here all day trying to go through the different topics that we've talked about.
But the great thing is our training library here, you can go in and search for the topic that you want, and it'll pop up for you.
Yeah, I think somebody had asked about the open house thing, and I think that's going to go.
There it is. Open houses.
Open houses, actually a category. So yes, we've got lots of resources for you there. And then what will happen is that you'll just come in here. This is when you first log in, you'll see you'll have access to the MVP right here.
Yep.
Marketing website is also called the Agent ID site. There's a marketing suite that allow you to send HTML emails out right there. Oops, I didn't mean to click on that. And then the training library is under this thing called Coaching Club. And then you'll find your other products and bonus gifts located under there.
Sherry says the Agent ID site makes it really easy to advertise the monthly digital campaigns. That's the point, is that what we're doing here in our program, in the club, is that we want to make everything that is normally really difficult for us in real estate and we don't have the time to do. Let us do this stuff for you and make it really easy for you to implement.
Well, remember we were talking about at the very beginning. It's it's consistency. What we have to do this consistently. We need tools and technologies to make this easier. And in order for it to work, we have to be putting it in front of the right people with the right message. Well, we've taken the burden of a lot of that. It's really just up to you now to execute on the communications and execute on the components, because the content's there, the messaging's taken care of, right? So the technology and the ability for you to consistently send this out is all there. And it's amazing how many of you guys have the sense that maybe you've left business on the table in the last 12 months, right? Like, I know we all have that feeling like, you know what, maybe if I would have done things a little bit differently, maybe you didn't capture all 30 people who you knew who moved. Maybe you only captured a dozen, and maybe you could pick up just a few more. Like, it really is, a lot of us are going to be looking into the next year and say, I want to sell a gazillion homes, but that's really hard to attain. What we can do is implement these things better, more consistently, more diligently, and we will get better results. I mean, I think that's one of the things that I observed in your real estate career, Gary, is it really just takes the focus. Like, when you focus, you can't help but to create opportunities. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, I got this. Like, we were talking this weekend, right? Was it Sunday or Saturday? And you called me, or like, I'm leaving a listing, or no, you were showing a home this weekend, right?
Saturday, yeah.
It's like, you can't help but to run into these opportunities when you decide to focus on these things. And I think one of the things that we would ask of you is rely on the community to trust that what we're telling you to do is like, it works.
It works.
And if you're not getting the same results, probably because you're doing something off kilter. But that's what the community is there for too. And we've got so many folks who are lots of experience, doing really, really well, but want to keep improving their real estate practice. Like in the private group, you're going to see that there's some real ballers out there who are members of our club.
Yes, there are.
Who share their knowledge, who share what they're doing. So I definitely encourage you.
There's John Diaz out in California. That guy is crushing it, and he contributes in there all the time.
CJ Cole, I was thinking of.
Yeah, so they're in there. Okay, next question. Melinda says, are all of these materials compatible with Mac? Yes, they're compatible with Mac and with PC. So you're going to get these templates either in Word or Pages or
Keynote
or PowerPoint.
It's good with Gary. You knew where you were going with that, huh?
It's just taking me a little bit of time to get these words out of my mouth right now. I don't know. Okay. Next one, Vicky. Vicky says, just signed up. I have been wanting a website and the marketing plans are exciting. I'm so glad that you say that because they are exciting. Talk about the marketing plans, the MVP, Chris. Sonia says, this is a great question, Sonia, because I'm not sure there's a perfect answer, but I have my answer, and I'm curious what you say, Chris. Sonia says, what day of the month would you send out the MVP?
Well, I could tell you statistically what the best day to send it out is Wednesdays. All right. Wednesday at noon is actually statistically the best time to send information out. Do we send ours out on Wednesday at noon? I don't think I've ever done that because it's just hard to do that. You know what I mean?
It is, but here's the thing. What I would recommend is pick a day of the month and stick to it every month. Remember, Chris said consistency. Consistency in sending out your MVP to your database is going to do two things. Number one is it is going to build trust with them because then they're going to recognize that on this day of every month, they're getting something from you. And in addition to that, consistency for you, it will just help you to remember and recall, oh, yeah, I'm sending this out. And just set up that reminder as a recurring event in your calendar to send it out. And how long does it take? It takes us no time to send these things out.
It's pretty quick. I mean, when it's all done for you like this, it's really quick. I'm reminded of one of my favorite really old school authors from a long, long time ago named G.K. Chesterton. And he said, if something's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly. Mm-hmm. Meaning if something is really worth doing, like communicating with your sphere of influence, it's better to do it poorly than not do it at all. You know what I mean? Like that's the fact of the matter is. And like nothing could be more true. I mean, like we do. I sent an email out. This is last month or maybe the month before. So I was sending out Gary's email for him, except for I was logged into my account. And it went out from Gary, but from me. You know what I mean?
From his email address.
Yeah, but you know what? If it's worth doing, it's okay if you don't execute it perfectly.
Is, how many complaints did we get from our database?
Nobody complained. No one was like, I can't believe you. It's like, no. Because I emailed Gary after. I was like, yo, should we send a second email saying, hey, my goofball marketing person messed this up? He was like, nah, it's fine.
It's good. You know, they got the message. They got the value.
Message. It's all right.
So what? Cindy said, once we join the club, are all the templates available immediately so that I can pick and choose the ones I want to use, when and how, or does the club trickle them to me each month?
Now, you can go in there and go to the dashboard. Yeah, if you're talking about the MVP, for example,
I think that's
you could just go in there and you're going to get access to every single campaign we've created since 2016. So there's many, many topics that you can go and, like, for example, let's say you get one and you're like, I don't like that one. Then you can go and just pick one from before. You know, we've got, let's see, last month was how's the market. This month's 5 reasons to buy in the winter. Oh, this one, November, this current one's a good example. So we
click on that real quick.
We created this one for our clients to send out, and it is on the 5 reasons why winter is a great time to buy or sell a home.
There you go.
A lot of our clients in Florida were like, you know what, this is actually our busy season. Mm-hmm. And so we were like, well, what you should do is go back and pick a different one and send that one. So maybe you can send the top 20 home gadget gift ideas instead, because
the thing is,
it's still relevant for this time of year.
And you get all of those immediately. In addition to that, you're also getting the free downloads that we're offering you today as bonus gifts. So you'll get those immediately. And somebody asked, Betsy Parker says, do we get to keep these materials in the event that we cancel?
Well,
everything you download, you get to keep.
With the exception of the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate, because it's videos in the learning portal, but like you can keep that professional dossier template and anything else that you download, that's yours. We're not going to take it back from you. So it is all yours.
All right. I just want to give a quick shout out to just few of the newest team members who are joining the club. We have Kelly, Mary, Anita, Patricia, Mary Ellen, Allison, Anthony, Amber, Steve, Sarah, Wendy, Robert, Rebecca, Juliana, Brooke, Kelly, two Kellys, spelled differently, John, Dee, Peggy, Deborah, Eileen, and more. So if you have not signed up yet, go on over to that link that says Join Club Now. I'm actually going to post this link into the chat section so everybody gets that fresh as well. So you can click on that. Go sign up right now because, like we said, we've been here an hour and 25 minutes. We're going to keep answering questions, but when it's over, it's over. So go sign up and join all of these other awesome folks who have joined as well. Next question. Christopher is talking about uploading the database to Facebook. He says, do you help us understand how to upload our database so it's usable?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, is have in your database needs to be a CSV file format. Okay.
CSV.
And then what you're going to do is have the phone number and email address that you have for that in a single row, two different columns in a single row. I think Facebook allows you to upload up to 2 phone numbers and 2 email addresses per contact. And then I already showed you how to go to the Facebook Ads Manager to create an audience. So that's what you're going to do is go there. And then you just follow the prompts for creating a custom audience using the customer file.
And by the way, you're going to learn all of that in depth, step by baby step, in the Facebook Marketing for Real Estate.
So I have, like, in that Facebook program, there's video demonstrations and all the stuff that you need if you want more of a hands-on approach to it, so that you can just watch the training videos that we've created in our Facebook Marketing for Real Estate program and just sort of follow along. Now, the screens might look slightly different because Facebook's always updating its platform, but you're going to get a sense of, oh, this is what I'm trying to do. And I think I updated that not too long ago, so it is going to be relevant for you.
Okay. Let's see. Next question. Oh, Holly is having some trouble logging on. Rudy just sent you a message, Holly. Email support@thepaperlessagent.com. So if you signed up today and you didn't receive that email, you just can't find it in your spam folder or whatever, email support@thepaperlessagent.com. Karen says, I signed up, but my name was not mentioned. Karen, I apologize. There were so many people who signed up that I just read a smattering of them. So Karen Erickson, welcome to the club. Let's see, next question. That was fun. Rashad says, do we get your Move Up program when we join the club?
So the Move Up program really just consists of the email and the sample ads. And in that training library, we dedicated one of our sessions to the Move Up program. So an easy way to go about finding that information is you go to, oh, I was playing some video while that was happening. Sorry. Hopefully no one heard what the video, I don't even know what was going on there. Let me just go start fresh. What am I going to do? I'm going to go to the library.
I don't know what you're doing.
I'm going to show them, what was the question to do about? Oh, the Move Up program.
Yeah, Move Up program. You expect me to remember what happened 30 seconds ago?
I know. I had the same problem right now. Let's see. I think if I just search Move Up in this area, it's going to like show me. Oh, you know what? I know that we even have the email as a template in there, but let's see. Let's give it a second here. There's so many resources in here. It does take a little bit for it to search. Oh, look right there. The Move Up Buyer Program email template. So I'm just going to click on that guy. Oh, look, there's even Move Up Buyer Program Facebook ad, copy an image. So yes, all these things are located in there. It's always a little bit of a risk. I never know if it's going to show up when I go in here and search, but you'll see that you can come in here and then you just download the template like I just did, and then you'll be able to open it up and hopefully it opens up. You just never know what's going to happen when you do these live.
When you do these things live, you always make me, hey, bravo.
Excellent. So yes, that's like the old commercial for Ragu or Prego, whatever that one commercial where the guy would be like, you know, he's stirring that pot of tomato sauce, and the son or the nephew comes by and is like, hey, uncle, does it got the tomatoes? And he's like, it's in there. What about the onions? It's in there. Go Google a Ragu commercial, Prego commercial from the 80s. And like that was in the 80s, it was like commercials I feel like were on television, we're at a peak form. You know what I mean? That's when, where's the beef? Where's the beef? Remember that?
The old ladies in the car at Wendy's. That was awesome.
It was during the 80s that I think television commercials reached their zenith in terms of quality of messaging for entertainment purposes.
I would agree with that. Okay, next question. Ashley says, I have a hard time figuring out what to talk about in my videos. What do you all suggest?
Your MVP?
Yeah.
I mean, here's what I would do, because it is sometimes difficult to say, what am I going to talk about? Is you get an MVP so you can read it and just talk about it. I mean, it's like one of the easiest things that you can do is the old show and tell format. Remember in kindergarten when you did show and tell, you'd be like, well, I have this water bottle, and let me tell you about this water bottle. It is blue. It contains water. I can use this when I'm backpacking. And if I'm ever in a survival situation, I could put water from a sludge, put it in here, and I could put this over a fire, and it'll actually heat this water up so I could drink it without like blowing up. So, you know, that's just a little bit of show and tell. Another thing you can do is use this format for your expert videos. You say this: hi, this is Chris from Creth Partners, and I'm here to answer the question today. Insert question. All right. So this
Still is cracking up. Drink this without blowing up.
Well, no, you can heat it up, because like if you put this over fire, it will get black, but it won't break. You know, if it's got liquid in it. Sorry, I watch too many survival shows, so I know this information. But you can also use this other video format. As hi, this is insert your name, from insert your firm. I'm here to answer the question today. Is it a good time to sell my home? Or is it a good time to buy a home? Or what's happening in the market? So, and then you just start talking. Here's a suggestion that I have for you. We didn't get to cover this because we had a lot of information to cover. But here, if you're wanting to speak on video, here are 4 tips from Dale Carnegie's book on the quick and easy way to effective speaking. So the first thing is pick one main point that you want to make. So a lot of times when we're trying to decide what to talk about, we're not sure what to talk about. It's like there's too much that we're trying to consider, so we can't really pick that one thing. But if you pick just one thing, make sure it's something that you know. Like if you don't know it like this instant, so for example, if you want to answer the question on how's the market, I'm here to answer the question today, how's the market? Go hop online, figure out what's happening in your local market so that you're prepared to answer those questions.
Speaking of which, Awesome Border Realtors, I got in my inbox this morning the updated market stats. So I'm going to get with my brother. We're going to shoot some video on Monday.
More video.
Yep.
You know, sharing those stats. And like the market stats are a great show and tell type of video. You share the stats. You don't have to show the stats. You share the stats, and then you just talk what it means for buyers, sellers, owners, people in the market, right? And that's the show and tell format. A couple other points, Gary, just to finish this, if you're wanting to know what to talk about. The more you know something about the topic, like if you're picking something that, let's say you want to talk about homes that you've recently previewed. That's something you'll have known about because you experienced that through your natural real experience. Also, put yourself in a mood to be excited and to get in the mood of talking about it. You know, we want to consider it so that it's like, Gary, I got to tell you what's going on in the real estate market, or Gary, I got to tell you about what's happening here, because that enthusiasm is contagious.
Yes, it is.
Not just it's like when they're watching the video too, that it's going to be contagious. It's going to communicate that I'm excited to sell real estate.
There you go. So this is just a tiny inkling of all of the training and the tips and tricks and techniques and scripts and dialogues and templates that you're going to get when you join the club today. Yeah. Just like Rhonda, Thomas, Aiken, Deborah, Greg, Felix, Milton, Melinda, Betsy, Robert, Warren, Earl, Iris, Mark, Michael, Sherry, Paul, Tyler, Lindsay, Billy, Vicky, Blakely, Laura, Deborah, Gretchen, and more. So for those of you who have joined the club today, welcome to our tribe. Welcome to the Chris and Gary Club. We're so excited and delighted that you're here and cannot wait to really help you out and explode, as Chris was saying, your business going into the end of 2018 and blowing it out in 2019. Okay, next question. Greg says, I'm looking forward to growing my business. Welcome, Greg. That is awesome. If you have not joined yet, by the way, that link is still up over there. It says join club now. Oops, it says the offer is ended. Let me restart that, Chris, and then we will get to another question. There you go. Okay. Sherry said, do you do all of these things and still advertise on Zillow?
We actually don't advertise on Zillow.
No, we don't. I know several agents who do, and it's productive for them. But I also know several agents who used to and don't any longer. That's an assessment that you need to make for yourself to see if that's going to be effective.
You know, I was actually one of our clients had messaged me and said, "Hey, you know, I'm currently using, I think it was Realtor.com or something like that." And he was like, "Hey, do you think I should drop Realtor.com?" And I was like, "Well, how much business are you getting it from right now?" I was like, "Well, we don't know exactly, but we're doing about $10 million a year, and a chunk of that's coming from Realtor.com." And so my response was, "No, don't stop doing that. But if you want to, what I would suggest is, instead of doing that, is use these things that we've been talking about to improve your conversion rate." Because one of the things that this person didn't like was how poor the conversion rate was and how long it took to convert those leads. And so you can apply these strategies to build trust, and just focusing in on that group if you wanted to improve your conversion rate, because you're already spending the money, and chances are you might be getting business from that. And if you know that for sure, then it's like, oh, I know I'm getting this much. Well, then the prudent thing to do is not to drop that, or to do like apply these same strategies to improve your conversion rate. So for example, you get a new lead from Realtor.com or Zillow or wherever. Hey, maybe we can send them that client welcome kit. Maybe we can put them in our list of receiving all of the advertisements so that they see us not just there, but everywhere else that they bump into online. Because how often will they see us on Zillow? Well, probably not that often, right? But if they see us originally on Zillow or Realtor.com or wherever else, and then they see us everywhere else on Facebook, on Google, and all these places on YouTube, then that's that omnipresent marketing. And now you're starting to remove your reliance on a single platform to be able to do all that work. And so over time, you might be able to adjust your spend. But no, we're currently not doing that.
Yeah.
And we have every year I go to Gary and I'm like, "Hey, what do you think about trying such and such home search site or such and such thing?" He was like, "You want to try them again? They didn't work last time." "Oh, well, you know, I just get that bug. Like maybe it's time to try this thing." And it's not that it doesn't work. It's just it wasn't going to work based on how we were approaching those.
Yep.
I ain't got the time, diligence, or patience to convert them. So.
Yeah, I feel you, man. Jody just said, I joined too. Jody, I'm sorry I didn't call your name out. By the way, if you signed up and I did not get to your name, or even if I did, go to the chat section and let everybody know you're a new member and where you're located. It's just a kind of a preemptive introducing yourself to everybody else in the club. So go to the chat section and say, I'm in from whatever city, or just say whatever city you're living in. Okay, next question we have, Chris, is Carrie has a question about Facebook. Carrie says, I had my Facebook ad rejected by Facebook because it looks like your ad is for housing, employment, or credit opportunities.
Yes.
Any tips here?
Yes, what you have to do is go back and accept the terms and conditions. So what that's doing is you have not accepted it's not the terms and conditions. You have to confirm that you are going to comply. Now, I already did that on my account. So what you want to do is go back into Ads Manager and then open up that campaign. And then I can't remember if it's like at the campaign level or at the ad set level or at the ad level, but go through all of those. And then that window at the top, it's like I said, it's not going to show up online because I've already accepted it, but somewhere up here for that campaign, that's going to show. Let me go into our ad account. Somewhere up here, it's going to show up. So if you were to open up a specific, let me see. Hey, there's that little engagement ad I got running for you, Gary. It's up to $3.79.
Woo!
It will. I think when I come here, all of a sudden up here, it'll say, "Hey, it looks like this ad."
Will this little icon?
It might show here. Yeah. Like for me, it showed up on the very top and it said, "It looks like," and you only have to do this once, by the way. You only have to say, "Yes, I agree that I'm going to comply with the rules associated with marketing, equal housing, and so on and so forth."
Got it. Okay.
Because what they don't want us to do is to like start excluding people and doing all that shady business there. So we want to make sure that we tell Facebook.
No shady business.
No shady business.
Angeli says, I signed up and I don't see the dossier template. Where is it?
So what you're going to do actually is it a card, Sarah? It should be a card. Oh, so when you sign up, and if it's not, let me see. Let me go here. It should be a card that when you go to the dashboard, right off your dashboard. Now, I have every program ever created, so you see all of them, but I think it's going to be, There it is. It looks like this.
Yeah.
And you'll download it right away. Where to go? Where to go? Where to go?
Just download it.
I know, but this is the thing. This is what the card looks like.
Yeah. So
client welcome kit looks like that.
If you're in there, Angeli, and you don't see that card, once you log in, email support@thepaperlessagent.com, and our team will make sure that they get it to you. Okay, answered that one. I actually had 3 questions about this, Chris. People were asking, how do you do a 1 to 2 mile radius for a Facebook ad? In Ads Manager, it only gives me the option of 10-mile radius.
Ah, all right.
Well, is that in our training?
It is in the training.
It's in the training. There you go.
There, but I'll just show you.
Okay.
In the ad set, what you're going to do is location. So you can come in here and let's see. I need an address. Westlake. Is this the one? I need an address. Westlake. What's an address near where you live?
Do 3113 Eanes Circle.
There it is. Okay.
So you just change it right there. There you go. All right. I hope that helped you. Louise Griffin says, I'm paying a lot more for my Facebook. Uh-oh.
I can't. I actually did that to a real ad. I need to discard that change. I don't want to. Oh, man.
You see what happens here? You see what happens?
Man, talk about hanging out with these rookies. You know, they just
Cindy from Pensacola, Florida joined. Greg from Covina, California. Earl from Ocala, Florida. Queen Creek, Arizona is John. Raleigh, North Carolina. Love that area. Louise. Christopher from Cape Coral, Florida. Welcome, everybody. And Louise has the question, I'm paying a lot more for my Facebook ads. Am I setting too large a group or what? Probably setting, like paying too much, setting the ad, the actual budget?
Well, it really depends. You know, that's one of those situation-specific things. What I would suggest is probably if you're spending more money, it's not just that you're marketing to too many people. You could also be marketing the wrong thing. You know what I mean? Like, so Facebook definitely puts a premium if you're putting crap out there. That's why with the stuff and examples that I've shown, like we've really zeroed in, and I didn't share with you the stuff that didn't work because I got, for every campaign that we have that works, I probably have 2 or 3 that didn't perform as well.
And is that tied to the relevance score? Or?
Sort of. That's kind of like, depending on whether, yes, the relevance score is an indicator. However, what you're really doing is looking at the content of the ad and determining whether or not it's lining up with the audience that you've selected for the ad. Now, the parameters might be too large that you're setting. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's a common mistake, is that you're just marketing to everybody as opposed to giving Facebook some parameters. You might be setting too high of a budget. Like, all of these things are really, what I suggest is to go in there and instead of looking at it and saying, I did this and it didn't work, is to say, I did this and here's what I learned, right? So if you take the approach of, I'm going to, because I can't even tell you what to do in your market and your audience, because I'm in Austin, I'm marketing to the people who I think are going to be likely to work with us, right? And we're in a certain price point in a certain parts of Austin even. It's not, we're not even all over Austin. We're only in a couple of neighborhoods in Austin in certain price points. So what's working for me there, I'm going to share with you what's working, but it might require a little bit of tailoring. Like, if you're not in a luxury, if you're not focused on luxury homes, then the images that I'm sharing are not the types of images that you want to share. You know what I mean? Or speaking to the luxury audience. I mean, I'll give you an example. We had like an older database of Gary's that he had from our firm that was no longer representative of the price point that he currently serves. And we had sent this one email out marketing one of his listings, and I think the title was called Lavish Listing. And like somebody actually replied to him like, this is way too expensive, yada yada. And I was like, oh, that's not actually in Gary's current database. And so that was the wrong message for that individual. And so that's, a lot of that when it comes to Facebook, you do want to look at what is my targeting, who am I marketing to? If you don't have a specific answer to that, then you're probably marketing to nobody. And so that will drive your costs up. So then when I ask the question, who am I marketing to? What am I marketing? Well, those things should line up. Like, I mean, you should be able to answer the question, who am I marketing to? Why am I marketing to that people? And what are they going to care about? So when you look at, like, with the examples that I showed you guys, our database is one of the people of the who. And I want to make sure the messages that we share with them line up. So when I market to our database, a Facebook Live video of Gary, yeah, it's going to cost, I think when I looked in there just right now, it was about 4 cents per view. So it's not going to cost a lot of money to be able to market to 500 some people that video of somebody that they know. It's a very good message for that group. Same thing with seeing us market real estate. Might be slightly higher, might be slightly lower. It depends on the quality of the content. So I noticed when we have we do this new cool thing with Gary now, where we call it a walking tour.
Yep.
Right?
I'm doing one on Monday.
Doing them on Monday. It's Gary or Gary or his bro walking through a house, talking about the house, right? Like it's easy. But it's different. So it's like they're getting a sense of what it would be like, and you're just acting like you're showing the home to the camera.
Yep.
And it's easy.
And you talk to the camera like it's a family or a couple, and you're like, hey, come on in, let me show you this.
And that is what Facebook and that audience of people, even if they're not thinking of buying or selling right now, but it's somebody in your database or someone who's visited your website because you're using the Facebook Pixel to be able to track them around the web, is that is high value content. And Facebook would view that as high value content. So those are just some of the tips I would have if someone would ask me how come that's the areas where I would explore. But if you're doing something and you don't know why you're doing it, that's a problem. Like, someone asked us if we're doing any of the home search sites. Not right now, and for a specific reason. Like with Zillow, just for us, we're in a non-disclosure state, so the prices are always wrong. Like we go in there and we're asking one price, and the price says it's like $100,000 less. That's a problem for our sellers. Yep. You know what I mean? So if it wasn't that way, perhaps we would be doing it.
You never know. Next question. By the way, again, he just dropped some knowledge on you. And if you want more knowledge just like that, go sign up if you have not signed up already. The link is still live for you. Next question. Dawn says, I've gone on listing presentations where the homeowner does not want their home on Facebook. Do you have a comeback for that objection? I believe the homeowners feel it cheapens their home, perhaps. Well, here's the thing, Dawn. You don't know why they don't want it on Facebook. So you have to ask.
Yeah.
And all you do is ask this question. So, Chris, apparently that's really important to you. Do you mind if I ask why that is?
I don't want my friends to know that I'm selling my home.
Oh, okay. I'm sure you have a good reason for saying that. Do you mind if I ask what that is?
I'm just a private individual, and like we're going to be selling this home and getting another one. I just don't want everyone knowing that we're moving.
Okay. So if I were to tell you that by not marketing your home to all potential buyers out there, it actually lowers the opportunity to get the highest price for your home, would you tell me you're okay with that?
Well, can you do it without putting my name in it?
Of course I can do that without putting your name in it. And no photos of you and your family taking a dip in the pool on Sunday afternoon. But no, Don, you've got to explore. You have to seek first to understand before you can make a judgment on the whole thing.
Yeah, and I would say that if you educate on what you're doing, so if someone says, well, I just don't want you to post it on Facebook, and you say, well, what I'm going to do is use the advertising platform so that only certain groups of individuals who are likely to be interested in buying your home are going to be the ones who see that. That is no different than putting it onto any of the popular home search sites, because the same people who are seeing it there are seeing it here. Here's the thing. Who is the expert?
Me.
Who knows how to sell the real estate? So I think that's one of the things. If you go to the doctor and they're like, hey, I think we're going to have to remove that mole, and you're like, I don't think so.
No, I've named it. I'm really attached to it.
And I like this mole, and I don't think there's a problem with it. The doctor's not going to be like, oh, okay.
No, that's fine.
That's fine. No, the doctor's be like, no, you need to remove that. I mean, who's the expert here? Do you know what the heck you're talking about? Just because you named your mole, you're going to keep it? No, right? So, I think to Gary's point, seek to understand, but also, here's a common one, Gary. Well, they think their home is worth more. Like they think their home is worth more. That's an objection that we hear, is that they think their home is worth more, right? Mm-hmm. Like, who's the expert? Do you say, oh, okay, well, I guess we'll just list it at
you're
that
right.
much.
We'll list it $100,000 over market value.
Or do you handle that? Do you handle that like a professional? Yeah. And I think all of these things, it might be a little uncomfortable at first because you're like, well, I've never really talked about marketing. But they are looking to you to market and sell the home. According to the National Association of Realtors, the number one thing that home sellers want us to do is to market the home. That's the thing that they can't do because they think they know what the price is, right? They think they can come up with a price, but marketing a home, and that's every year. National Association of Realtors does a study, and they ask home sellers, what's the number one thing that you want?
And that's what they say every year.
Yep.
Keith says, I'm in from Leander, Texas, nearby. Welcome, Keith. He wants to know, what is the best thing to do for leads as a new agent? Number one is get a database together. And a database is nothing more than a list of everybody who you know with their contact information. Number two, you need to start sending them that MVP immediately. Would you hear that?
Oh, you rhymed. You're like dropping some little rhymes and reasons here.
Yep. And
a little poetry even.
And by the way, Keith, you could go in there and modify that apology email or the re-engagement email, as we call it. You can modify that a little bit, letting people know that what's happening, I'm in real estate, and this is what I'm going to start doing. And then also, Keith, what you can do is create your agent, your client welcome kit, create your client welcome kit. And with those resources, you can go use National Association of Realtors reports to link back to. And as far as experience and everything, talk to your broker and get a lot of information from them.
I think what I would do is I would take that re-engagement letter, like you said, and I would modify it to a I just got my license, or doors open for real estate. But instead of just, and I think a lot of people will talk about some of career news, is use that MVP to provide value, so that it's not just, hey, you know what, I am now selling real estate and I can't wait to serve you. It's like, hey, I'm selling real estate. I'm really excited to do that. By the way, I'm committing to stay in touch with you and providing you with expert information and tips and resources and advice for you. Here's my first installation of the monthly value program that you now receive, right? So like, that's where you start. I think for most people, the biggest hurdle, and this is from our client reports, the biggest hurdle is to sit down and export all the contacts in your phone. Like that, for a lot of people, for whatever reason, is the sticking point. Now, I will say, if you connect your phone to Gmail, you can export all your contacts and upload that to wherever you need it to go.
There you go.
So it is easy to start, but I think that a lot of people are like, I don't know who, and remember, with the marketing stamp, this is marketing 101, sales 101, is you must start with the who, so that you know what you can do for the what, right? The right person, the right message. So
there you go.
And real estate really relies on trust. Like
it's all about trust. Trust is the biggest word in real estate. Is the name of the game is trust, and the winner of that game is the person who builds the most amount of trust.
And it's trust in our ability to either buy or sell homes, right? That's competence, right? So they must trust that we are competent. And how do you communicate that competence? Everything that we just talked about today, right? Sharing expert advice, sharing information, marketing listings, marketing real estate. That in their mind works to build trust with the individuals who know you, who are interacting with you, who are leads that you have, opportunities that you have. Because the more trust that you build and the easier you make for it to build trust with individuals, the more opportunities you're going to have.
And that's the way it works. So if you have not joined yet, I want to let you know we are out of time. We've been here for an hour and 53 minutes.
Goodness gracious.
One of our
I thought I was getting a little hungry, Gary.
I know. It's one of our longest public trainings we have ever done. We appreciate everybody here who has joined us and everybody who is joining our Paperless Agent Club. If you have not joined it yet, go do it now. Chris, would you share your screen one more time so everybody can see?
Oh, you kicked me off, Gary?
I did.
I kicked off my broadcasting.
Now you're... That's the wrong thing. Hit that again.
Yeah.
Hit that. There you go.
What is this?
That's the marker where you can mark on the screen. Don't mark on that. You draw a smiley face on me.
Oh, nice. All right.
All right. So there it is. There it is. And there it is. So if you have not signed up today, go do it right now before we shut down. Click on the link that is over there. It says Join Club Now. Go sign up. You're going to get our client welcome kit templates. You'll be able to use that in Microsoft and in Apple. Facebook marketing for real estate you're getting today. In addition to that, you're getting the professional dossier template when you join the club for just $67 a month. Go do it now, and we will see you on our next training session.
Yep. We'll see you online. Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.